Rohan Joshi, and I have 4 years of experience with ServiceNow, specifically into ITSM. Then I've also worked in implementation project in GRC and vulnerability response. I've also worked on sub modules such as the UI builder as well as the no mobile app. So yeah. So before starting off, like if you guys can please introduce yourselves so that I may know like what are your capabilities, like how much you have experience in service now and how much experience you have in GRC, or this is the first time you're taking up these classes. So I'll get a better idea of how to conduct this training going forward. So we'll start off. I don't want to name anyone. You can go ahead and voluntarily introduce yourself. Yeah. Team, I hope I'm audible. Like you can start off with your introductions.
Hey, hi, Rohan. This is Kishore. I overall have 11 years of experience, in which 9 years I'm into service now. I have predominantly into ITSM implementations, HRSD, integrations, so that sort of stuff. That's pretty much. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Kishore. Yeah, good to know. Next.
Hey Rohan, like myself, I'm Bharat. Total, I
Hi,
have
Bharat.
like 3 years of IT experience. I was not into completely. I was like, I mean, the Power BI developer actually. So I just
Mm-hmm.
want to like in my company they are like we have like a new project in service now. So they are looking for a guy who have the like GRC and IRM exclusively.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to
Yeah.
switch to the service now. Where I can be in the long term in the thing. So I
Yeah.
just don't want to change the things every time. So I just want to make the service now, like, and that too, like, mainly in the GRC, like IRM, like I'm looking for the IRM module,
Mm-hmm.
GRC and IRM modules.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got it.
That's it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And just a quick question, like, if like, so directly I can like go with the GRC, IRM and GRC, like, or else I need to have the basics of ITSM and all. Like, I was just going through the other videos and like in my office
Mm-hmm.
trainings also, I was just attending a couple of trainings and all. Like, they're giving the, I have like rough knowledge on the ITSM mainly,
Yeah.
where I have like know that the ITSM is the base for the service now.
Mm-hmm.
So will it be like I should know the ITSM for knowing the GRC and IRM, or like, or else like I can uh, catch up with the class, which like if I join this class, I can catch up with the GRC and IRM.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, like you don't need to have any ITSM knowledge. What you need to have is ServiceNow administration knowledge and some part of scripting knowledge, right? If you're okay with like hopping into tables and scripting and admin part of ServiceNow, it is more than enough. ITSM knowledge is good to have. Like it is not a necessary thing that you should learn in GRC IRM. It is a good to have thing, but like if you don't have any experience or exposure to ITSM, then it is completely fine because GRC IRM solution is completely different from what ITSM solution is. Both are based on workflows, but then both are independent of that. Only thing which is common with these two is the CMDB, and that too CMDB, like we generally don't set up CMDB with respect to only GRC and IRM. It is part of ITSM and ITOM. So you don't need to have much in-depth. If you don't even have in-depth knowledge about ITSM, then also it is completely fine. Only thing that you know is some part of basic CMDB. That's it. Apart from that, nothing. Like there's no interference between the two modules. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And sorry, like if I
Yeah.
ask like small doubts, actually, like I was very new, so like I'll be like asking like maybe you
No.
guys may feel like it's a simple things, but like
Yeah.
and one quick question actually
Yeah.
here, like so you'll be teaching like like GRC means like in that you'll be teaching us like IRM also, right?
Yeah, yeah. Basically, like the solution which ServiceNow is given for this GRC process is called as IRM, Integrated Risk Management.
Oh,
So,
okay. Oh,
yeah. So GRC is a very general process, like it is defined in each and every organization, like how we have with ITSM, incident problem change knowledge, right? So similarly, what with a GRC, it's a very general topic, but what ServiceNow is defined as what we call as IRM, Integrated Risk Management. Okay.
okay, okay. And
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, next.
Hi, Roshan. Shami here.
Hi, Shami.
Like, generally, what is the level of coding which the IRM or GRC requires? What's the
So
level of
basic.
coding? Mhm,
So I'll be very honest with you. Coding is something like which is common to whatever coding you have done with ITSM. Same applies to
mhm,
GRC as well. So there is no such thing like you'll only specifically require coding for GRC or IRM. No. Whatever you have
okay.
learned in your administration or whatever coding you're aware of it, same coding will be used with IRM as well. The only thing
Mhm.
here differs is that you may have script include names. You may have sorry.
Sam, could you please mute yourself?
Yeah.
Mm.
And with respect to GRC, I can assure you that there is less of coding and more of process. Like with ITSM, there you may have encountered lots of coding uh, functionalities to achieve your like customization and implementation. But with GRC IRM, it's more of like how well you understand the process. What is the process of policy and compliance? How policy exception works. So like coding will be there. It will be 100% will be there, but it will be similar to how you do coding in ITSM and other modules of ServiceNow. So it is independent. Like coding comes as like what I can call is a central part of ServiceNow, and then there are different processes or modules that you learn. So let's suppose if I'm giving a training on this GRC material, right? The same GRC processes will be followed across different tools as well. Like with there is one very common tool which is used as Archer, right? So the process will be the same. So my intention of teaching you here is will be more process based rather than coding based. Yeah.
Okay, got that. Generally, what is the duration, Roshan? Rohan, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Hmm. So the duration for a GRC, like if you go to the official site and see the risk and compliance implementation training, it
Mhm,
generally covers for 14 hours. But then in risk and compliance training, implementation training, what you see is that they only cover two modules, which is policy and compliance and then your advanced risk assessments. So
mhm.
here we'll also take up vendor risk management and third party risk management, like other modules as well. So this will generally take around 25 to 30 hours.
That's to be precise.
Yeah.
22 days in a month. So 1.5 month, close to 45 days.
Yeah, you can say like we'll try to wrap it up early because like if time allots, like we can extend some sessions. But yeah, that is what the
Okay.
general timing is. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you.
Yeah. No worries, Shami. I didn't get your experience. Like, have you worked on service now or?
Yes, I have totally close to 10 years of experience. I started my career as a kind of functional guy. When I say functional guy,
Mhm.
operations guy to be very precise, not even functional.
Okay.
Uh, I started as an incident manager, then moved to problem and change manager. Then I
Mm-hmm.
worked as a project manager where leading the incident problem and change teams. Then I moved into ServiceNow. From past 4 years, I've been with ServiceNow. When I say ServiceNow, into implementations as a business analyst and other things. So that's pretty much with my experience. So
Understood.
my last what do you call association was with Sonata as a program manager, where I was managing 2 to 3 projects. So
Yeah.
that's my experience.
Yeah. Understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next.
Yeah, this is Teja. Myself, this is Teja. I
Hi,
have
Teja.
I have experience on service now, 3+ years of experience. So I worked on the module called ITSM. Before initial stage, I have started my career in service now with the admin part.
Mm-hmm.
So just now, I just give 3 rounds of interview for one of the company. So in that
Mm-hmm.
company, they are more preferably looking for the client is more preferably looking for the module of GRC. So for that sake, I just want to learn more about GRC. In that currently now the trending is IRM. So
Mm-hmm.
the part which I am looking in this training, which gives me the best nice experience about this.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Teja. Good to know. Yeah. We are left with Chinna and Sam. And Mohsin as well. No, Mohsin is not. No. Yeah. So, Chinna, can you go ahead and introduce yourself quickly? A short introduction. Uh, Chinna, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, Rohan, you're audible.
Uh, okay, I guess Chinna is not there. So we'll move on with Sam. Like, Sam, are you there? We can start off with your introduction.
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So, my name is Sam. I have over 10 years of IT experience. Initially started with tech support, then went to quality assurance on focusing on SQL Server, focusing on SDLC, and then
Yeah.
moved to SAN Storage, EMC, Enterprise shops. And then I moved to the IT management project. Currently serving as a IT manager for a application support team, specialized in a C sharp at the back end. The written on a C sharp at the back end is on the SQL Server. So
Yeah.
my main focus is I'm heavily engaged with HIPAA and PCI compliance as our software mainly focus on the healthcare industry.
Okay.
So that kind of increased my interest coming into GRC.
Yeah.
And I'm taking some security operations center
Yeah.
classes myself to
Mm-hmm.
specialize a little bit to sharpen my experience in the technical aspect of the cybersecurity.
Yeah.
But my main focus is to get to GRC.
Yeah.
So I was I was doing a random search, but uh, somehow I got connected with the ServiceNow GRC. But my main focus is to be able to apply for um, GRC analyst, or
Mm-hmm.
any kind of risk compliance or auditing jobs, whether they're using Archer GRC tool or ServiceNow metric streams or SAP GRC.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I'm worried right now is since this course itself is focused on ServiceNow, the only exposure I have with ServiceNow, I think, as a ticketing system, I used it when I worked as a consultant for one of the company in the
Yeah.
past.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if I continue with this with the ServiceNow and integrated risk management, which
Yeah.
is not all the companies practice IRM.
Yeah.
This is more a little bit more advanced, which I like. But does this limit my options to approach other requirements who specialize on a different GRC tools, like
So Sam.
people who are using SAP GRC or Archer or metric stream?
Yeah. So Sam, what I'll suggest you here is that what I'll try to teach in here is more of a process-based thing. So basically, it will be applicable to ServiceNow. Then it will be more specific to ServiceNow, that is true. But then if you get hold of the process, similar things, like I've also worked with like a very short, for a very short period of time with Archer as well. And they are also using the same concepts of GRC, right? Now ServiceNow came up with a fancy word which is integrated risk management. But all in all, what they're doing is they are also taking the same principles which are defined in the GRC processes. Okay. So what I'll suggest to you is look at it more as a like a process oriented training rather than a specific tool oriented training. Then it will help you much more. Yes, there will be specific instances where I'll be using more of a service nomenclature or things that we use in ServiceNow, but then the process it remains the same, be it ServiceNow or be it Archer.
Okay. So now,
Yeah,
if I want to practice myself, I'm a little bit more focused on hands-on experience. I want to
yeah,
practice with the controls or whatever you're teaching us. Okay, this is the framework. We're working from the NIST. And is there
yeah,
any way I can use ServiceNow? Is there any developer
yeah,
version or is there any free
yeah,
practice version what I would be able to utilize and crack some question of the interview
yeah,
as
yeah,
a
yeah.
tool that I've used in a real scenario?
Yeah. So I'll paste the link. Mayuri, I guess you have disabled the chat for me as well. Can you please enable it so that I can share the links with the team? Okay. What I'll do is I'll share my screen and tell you where you should go. Okay. Please let me know once my screen is visible. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah. So you see here, this is something called as a ServiceNow PDI, wherein you get the opportunity to have your own sandbox instances. So what you have to do is you have to go to this site. I'll let me see if the chat is enabled for me. Yeah, okay. So it is disabled, but then I'll share it with you once the chat is enabled. So what you have to do is you can use your official ID as well as, or you can use a personal ID as well. Once you log in, you'll land up into this page, wherein if you click on this, it will ask you to have an instance. Basically, the current version is Yokohama, but right now I have with Xanadu. Like it doesn't matter because the IRM solution of ServiceNow hasn't been updated still from Washington update. So basically, what you have to do is you'll have to request an instance. As soon as you request your instance, you'll have this button enabled, which is start building. Once you click on this, it will redirect you to this ServiceNow instance. So basically, this is how ServiceNow looks from a developer perspective. And then in your admin practices, you'll get to know like what is this all. This is a filter navigator. What is this favorites tab wherein you favorite the what do you say these modules. Then there's history, workspaces, admin. So basically, like this is how you get an admin view of your service now. So if you want to have an hands-on experience, like whatever I'm teaching, and you want to replicate those same things in ServiceNow, you have to go to this site, developer.servicenow.com/dev.do. So it will you will end up in here, and you can then have your own instance and you can work on it. So basically, everything is free in here. There is no restriction and there is no billing as well. Like they won't ask you for any credit, like how we do it with AWS and Azure. There is no billing in here, so you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, I hope I've made myself clear.
Okay, that's very nice. Now, with the service now from the GRC standpoint, like I was looking
Yeah,
into some job opening, some
yeah,
random requirements on Indeed or LinkedIn. I see
yeah,
there's a lot of job opening as ServiceNow
yeah,
GRC IRM developer.
yeah.
So, what is the difference between a GRC analyst and a developer over here?
So basically, like developer is someone who develops things, who customizes the solutions which are provided by ServiceNow. Okay. So let's suppose if ServiceNow has provided us with a solution, right? And we are not okay with it. Like let's suppose there's a form, and in that form there are some fields that we use and some fields that we don't use. So in that case, a developer comes into picture. He makes the customization to forms. He may alter the flow. He may customize the flow, whatever, like depending on the requirement. That is someone who is a developer. Whereas an analyst is someone who works on those flows. Let's suppose you are in your organization, there may be a change manager, right? He has all the duties to raise a change, then to uh, plan that change, then to schedule that change, right? So these are the parts wherein like a change manager comes in, right? But what a developer, he takes care of the backend things, he takes care of the flow, whatever the analysts and the BAs have requested him, like whoever other process owners have requested someone to customize it. So that customizations are being done by the developer. So like this is a very basic differentiation between a developer and a process owner or an analyst. I hope I'm clear.
Yeah, you are. And uh, the in a real scenario, the ServiceNow standpoint, people who are using it at the enterprise, whether it's a manager level or
Sorry for disturbing. Yeah, hi, Mr. Sam. The
yeah,
queries, whatever you are having, we can complete
Yeah,
after this session because there are other students also who are waiting. So,
sure,
firstly, let us complete
yeah,
what exactly this training about and everything. Then we can clear
yeah,
your queries. Yeah.
yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you.
yeah. Thanks, Sam. Thanks for your time. Okay. I see some Harsh has also joined. So Harsh, are you can you please introduce yourself quickly, like a short introduction, and
Yeah,
we'll take your queries later. Yeah.
yeah. So hi Roshan, hi everyone. So I am Harsh. I'm joining from US. So basically, I just joined this ServiceNow team. I don't have any background of this GRC. I know what is ServiceNow, but I don't know GRC or IRM. My team is working. I'm managing a team of IRM implementation. That's the reason I'm interested to join this course so that I can guide my team properly.
Yeah.
Um, so I've been with IT for almost 20 years now, but not with ServiceNow or GRC area.
Yeah.
I understand very high level what these three terms are, GRC,
Mhm.
but I don't know. But my team is implementing IRM. So my first question, I want to get it clarified. When we have GRC, why are we going for IRM? What is that? Okay, I understand by reading it like, okay, what is IR integrated
Yeah.
risk management. I don't know what is the difference. I don't understand, but my team is implementing it. So that's where
Yeah.
I want to kickstart from that area, like from that
Yeah.
topic only. Roshan,
Yeah.
Rohan,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. So just to give you a quick background, basically the solution for which GRC for the solution which ServiceNow provides for GRC is IRM. So there is no difference between a GRC and IRM. Okay, they used to they call it integrated risk management, which basically like different modules they come into picture and then they are interconnected. That's it. There's no difference between a GRC process and an IRM. Whatever
Okay,
service is derived from the GRC processes, they call it as IRM
okay,
in
okay.
very plain and simple terms. Okay. The only thing which differs is there is a module called as classic risk management. So it differs, but then we'll come to it later into the classes. So then you'll get to have a better understanding of what integrated risk management is. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you guys for your introduction and for your questions as well. So I'll start off with the session now. Firstly, we'll look into the curriculum, like what are we trying to achieve in here and what will be the like flow of learning in here. Okay. So
Suddenly you went on. I'm not able to hear you. I'm not
I
sure
think
what
Rohan,
happened.
you are on mute.
okay, okay, yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I'll start again. Yeah. So basically, what we'll do is we'll try to see what the course curriculum is. So one is basically the GRC overview, wherein we'll learn about the GRC positioning and frameworks, like what are the frameworks that we're using, key terminologies and technical details. I'll try to cover this module in the session. And in here we have a lab, like we'll see how that lab works and I'll give you some tasks so that you get to know yourself as well. Then we have an implementation planning, similarly like use cases, what kind of implementation team is required, implementation checklist, groups and roles. So these are very common things that we generally do. We'll uh, so this is entity scoping. This is one of the most important topics across GRC or security operations. There is another module which is called as SecOps. There also we use some entities. So this is one of the most important module, entity scoping, wherein we'll look at what is the entity, how entities are created, their classification, their types, all those things. This is one of the most important topics of GRC. Then we'll look at the policy and compliance implementation approach. In here, we'll look at into how the policies are created, how controls are attached to it, what are control objectives, and all those things. So this we'll cover in the module 4. Then we have module 5. In here comes the risk management. There are specifically two risk management processes. One is the classic risk management, and the other one is the advanced risk management. We'll go into detail like how those things differs and what are the scoring metrics and all assessments, all those things. Then we have extended capabilities, which basically means like how reporting comes into picture with GRC. Then what kind of tools are we trying to integrate into ServiceNow? So here comes like common integration tools are ServiceNow Archer. Like if someone is managing risks in ServiceNow Archer, but now they also want to see it in the ServiceNow platform as well. Or there is something called as Qualys Scanner. It also helps in integrating with risk. So different like different capabilities of the ServiceNow, we'll talk about in here. Then we'll talk about vendor risk management, how their portfolios are managed. Then assessments. Assessment is one of the most important parts in here, like how you create assessments through templates and all those things. So assessment plays a very important role into your GRC learning. Then, then as we move ahead, we'll see like vendor risk assessment and the process of vendor responses. Then again, reporting and integration, like this is common across modules, reporting and integration. Then we have something called as audit management and then audit managed implementation. So starting off, I'll start off with a PPT. Yeah. So this is what ServiceNow GRC IRM is. I'll start off with the key definition. So now when I say governance, like can anyone explain me like or give me a one word meaning like what governance mean in actual terms? Like literally, we are not looking into GRC processes. Just simply how what do you understand by governance?
Set of rules and regulations.
Correct. Yeah. So basically what we does is like there's a government, like if there is a country and there's a government, what it does is it governs. Like how it governs by creating rules and regulations as mentioned. Okay. So this is what a governance is. I won't go into the like a technical definition because it's very self-explanatory. Like it is a system of rules, process, and controls that guides an organization's direction and decision making. It's a framework that ensures activities align within the organization's objective, promoting accountability, transparency, and ethical conduct. Essentially, governance is the foundation upon which GRC is built, providing the structure for managing risk and ensuring compliance. So basically, what this means is there is governance, there is a governing body which creates rules and regulations which defines the policies of the organization and it makes sure that these policies are being followed in order to be compliant. Then we have risk. So now what is risk management? Can anyone tell me what is risk and why are we managing risk?
Yeah, I have some little bit of idea. The risk is not, but when you are complying with any governance rules and
Mhm.
regulations, we should encounter some particular kind of risk in that particular organization according to the standards of the rules, which was
Yeah.
framed by that country.
Yeah. So to give you more depth about it, like what is risk? Risks are basically anything wherein we incur monetary damage. Let's suppose if a attack has happened, like a DDoS attack has happened to my website, to my company's servers. So what will happen is I may have to face some monetary damages to it. Like it may be in billions or millions of dollars, right? So in that case, it becomes a risk for me. And what we do with risk is we try to mitigate those risks or we try to accept those risks. So this is what a risk management is, wherein it is a process where we try to identify the risk and then we try to rectify the risk. Okay. Then the third thing is compliance. Anyone like who can give me an example like what compliance means to you or
Yeah,
what do you mean when I say compliance?
yeah. I have some little bit of idea that the risk which you have assessed should be correctly complying with the governance or not.
Yeah.
For the checking purpose, we will use a compliance. Means policy creation we should do in GRC.
Yeah, correct. That is absolutely correct. Like we create policies, and then those policies, we need to make sure people are following that policies. Let's suppose if I have a policy wherein I say there is a set of freshers who have just recently joined it, and I want to make sure that these freshers go through all the policies and requirements are there to being compliant. Basically, they should not breach with the securities. They should always follow dress code policy. So all these are policies. And what we do is we add some controls to it or control objectives to it, and then we try to make these new freshers compliant with all the policies that we have within our organization. Okay. So if I go to the next slide, you see, like I have a very simple example of an IT training. There are, let's suppose, 100 students and what I've decided is, as soon as they are in, I want them to practice 1 hour in a simulator. Okay. If any of these 5 students, they are also not taking those simulator classes, then it becomes a risk for me. Why it becomes a risk for me? Because I have 5 non-compliant students who may breach a security information, or let's say they breach the dress code policy, then it will not have a positive effect on the remaining 95 students, right? So that is why it becomes a risk for me and for the organization. So what we do is we monitor these 5 students, and then what we do is we make them compliant through policies. Yeah. So this is like a very simple example, like how policy and compliance works in tandem. Yeah. I'll go with the next slide. So now here comes the core modules, what we will be trying to achieve in the IRM. So the first one is policy and compliance management, wherein we'll look at how policies are created, how authority documents are come into service now, what are citations, so and the policy life cycle, what is policy exception. So this comes under policy and compliance management module. Then we have the risk management module. In this risk management, we have classic risk management and advanced risk management. With IRN, we generally prefer to use advanced risk management. We don't look at classic risk management. I'll tell you why in the future classes. Then we have audit management, wherein we audit all the risks which are there. Then we have vendor risk management, wherein we look at vendor portfolios and manage the risk, like there any underlying risks are there. And then there are some optional modules as well, which is operational risk management. Then we have business continuity management, and there is third party risk management. So when I talk about core modules, so yeah. So when we look at
I have a
policy,
question here.
yeah, yes,
What is the difference between vendor risk and a third party risk?
yeah. So vendor is something, basically, let's suppose if a company has outsourced their like asset recovery. So what comes in? So it is managed by a vendor, right? Basically, a
Correct.
vendor comes to your place and then he takes back your assets, and then he has the responsibility to deliver it to the your organization, right? So this comes under vendor risk. But what third party is, that sometimes what happens is we work on client projects, right? So let's suppose I'm part of an organization, and then what they done is they have onboarded me to a client project, right? So what I become a third party. I am trying to like implement the service now solution, like how we have worked, right? Your teammates are working on client projects, right? So they become the third party in that case. So that is a very like a simple difference between vendor risk management and third party risk management. So
That
continuing,
See, anyway, that company will maintain as a vendor only, right? Because you are working as a vendor to that client, okay?
yeah.
So you're already, so uh, they can maintain them as like vendor, like why again third party? Okay, I'm trying to get that, but like just a little
Mhm.
confusion.
Yeah, no worries. Like this is the first class only, and I'll try to like clear all your doubts slowly. Yeah. So basically, right now, what I'm trying to achieve here is that what are the core modules and like what optional is required. But yeah, I'll get back to your question as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, what we are looking at is policy and compliance. So this is one of the major modules. Then we have risk management. This is also like the major module. Then there is audit management and vendor risk management. These four combined are the four founding pillars of IRM in ServiceNow. Like with ITSM, we have problem change, incident, and service request management. They are the four pillars of ITSM. Similarly, the four pillars of ITSM are these four modules. Okay. Moving ahead. Yeah. So now what you're looking at is the ServiceNow suite solution, like what ServiceNow offers in terms of SecOps, security operations, governance, risk and compliance, and audit. So basically, what you're looking at here is there is a module called as security operation. So it includes security incident response and vulnerability response. The security incident response is more of a reactive approach, wherein a vulnerability has occurred and now we are reacting to the vulnerability, right? Whereas in case of this vulnerability response, this is more of an proactive approach wherein we are saying, okay, this system may be exposed to some vulnerabilities. So before the vulnerabilities occur, we try to remediate those vulnerabilities. And this always becomes the first line of defense with regards to your operations. Then we have the GRC solution, wherein it comes, wherein we have the policy and compliance management, we have the risk management. So this becomes your second line of defense, and then your auditing and GRC. Like if at all you miss all these things, and then you go for an auditing version. So in those audits, what you get is you get your risks, your vulnerabilities, and how much monetary loss has happened. So you get in that audit. So this is like your third line of defense. So this complete becomes the ServiceNow suite solution for security, wherein we have three modules, which is security operations, GRC, and audit management. So GRC comes in as the second line of defense in this case. And all these things are managed through dashboards and reporting analytics. Yeah. So this is what the suite solution of ServiceNow looks like. Now moving
Rohan,
ahead.
quick question.
Yeah. Rohan.
So on the security operation, right, I see the security incident response and vulnerability response. Are
Yeah.
they linked with whatever SIEM tool they're using on security operations center, let's say incident responder or a SOC analyst one, they log this vulnerability response in their SOC app, and this service now would be able to handshake and update that info over here, right?
Yeah, I got your question, Sam. So basically, we use a set of different scanners. There is Qualys, there is Tenable, then there is Snyk. So all these scanners, what they work is they work in tandem with ServiceNow. There are integrations wherein you get all your vulnerability data or security incident response, like whatever security incidents that have been created. They are always integrated with ServiceNow, and then you get a view of how they look. Yeah. So it works.
That was very nice.
Yeah. So there is a
all
lot
the
of
information in one spot.
Yeah, all the information in one spot. Be it vulnerability response, like we also use, like I'll talk you through some integrations with GRC as well. So it comes like a one-stop solution for all your security operations, basically. Yeah.
Very nice. Thanks.
Yeah. Moving on to the next slide, which is how GRC works. So now what you're looking at is a flow diagram, and we'll tackle each one of independently. So what now, right now you're seeing is a flow diagram, which says USAFE repository. What is a USAFE repository? It is a framework of authority documents and citations, like how we have a repository for our coding, which is called as GitHub, right? Whatever code is present in our environment, it gets stored into the GitHub repository. So similarly, we have something called as UCF repository, and this UCF repository, what it includes your authority documents, it includes your citations. Now, what does an authority document mean and what does an citation mean? I'll cover in the next slide. So before moving on, there are some things like there is also a note which states as policy statement renamed as control objectives. You don't have to worry about all this. These come under like in the later part of the courses. But for now, why I have included this as well? Because earlier ServiceNow used to use like these nomenclature: profile class, profile statement, profile type, and profile. So whenever like you are discussing with someone, let's suppose in your organization, and they end up like using the old nomenclature, so you should be aware of that nomenclature as well. So what they have done is policy statement has now become control objectives. Profile class is become as entity class. They have renamed profile type to entity type, and profile is renamed as entity. So now coming back to this diagram. So do you have any idea about like what a UCF repository is? I've given you an example, but like, is anyone aware like what a UCF repository means? Okay, no problem. So what UCF repository is, as I've explained, it is a repository of all your authority documents and citations. Now these authority documents, they help you to build policies as well. And then these authority document also contains like what control objectives should be there. So I'll come back to this slide again, but first what I'll do is I'll explain you in detail what is the UCF repository. Give me a minute. Yeah. So you see, it is a unified compliance framework. It's the world's largest library database of interconnected compliance document and the world's only commercial available common control framework. So what we are looking at here is, this is one of the largest repository which contains your citation documents, your authority documents. It has like somewhere around 10,000 plus common controls, and you can always visit this, but then this is a very paid site, so you won't be able to access it. It is like the subscription is based on enterprise level. So this is what a UCF is. It is a collection of authority documents, citations, which in turn help us to define our policies and compliant controls. So yeah, this is what a UCF is. Now, these UCF contain authority documents. So you see here, authority documents, they manage a process and citations are created within them to manage points of the process. Now, what I mean when I say authority document, so it contains broad meanings of term. Like let's suppose if I want to have security implementations in practice. So what I'll do is I'll describe an authority document. It will contain the broader meaning of what I'm trying to achieve. But then if I want to look at it in a more granular way, like more specific, so what I'll do is I'll look at citations. So what I'll do is I'll create citations, and a single authority document can have multiple citations as well. So we'll look into it into ServiceNow as well, like how the relationship works in here. And this is very basic, like this is not something like you will like interact within day-to-day ServiceNow. This is just like how I'm just trying to give an introduction of how like authority documents, what are citations. We generally don't use this in our day-to-day ServiceNow conversations, but then as a implementer or as a analyst, you should be aware about all these terms. What are citations? What is authority document? So coming back to my plugins required. Yeah. So the plugins which are required for this implementation, like whatever we are going to look into is, so one is this one, policy compliance and management. Then we have the UCF. Basically, UCF is something like you try to get all the documents which are present in the UCF. I'll show you in a minute in our instance. Then we have the advanced risk management. We'll look into audit management. Then there is audit management. Like this is a dependent plugin of audit management. And then this is advanced dashboard, basically like the capability of reporting all these things into ServiceNow. So what I'll do is I'll quickly close this one. Yeah. And I'll go back into my instance. So you see here. So what I'll do is I'll start off with the authority document. So if you just type in authority document in here, and then you look at, yeah. Yeah. Under this policy and compliance module, you will find these authority documents. So if I click on this, what I'll show you, there are some certain documents which have come from the UCF repository. So if I click on one of this, let's say this is the most common one, ISO 2700:2013. So what it does is it gives an idea about like security techniques, information security management system requirements, etc. So if you look at the source, it comes from a UCF repository and it has a code. Yeah. And then you see this compliance score. We'll talk about this in the later versions of our class as well. And then it's a URL. Like if you want to look at the document, you can just click on this URL and you'll get to know all the things which are there in this authority document. So as I've said, authority document is a more broader term. Like I just want to have, let's say, security techniques in present. So what I've done is I've created an authority document. Now, if I want to look into more granular aspects of it, let's suppose how I want to define these information security management systems. So what I'll do is I'll create some citations for it. So you see, like it is a one-to-many relationship. One authority document has multiple citations. So in ServiceNow, what we call this as one-to-many. If I open one of this citation, you see, like it is attached in here with this authority document. So if I click on this citation, you will able to see something called as like, this is the name of that citation. It again come from the UCF. As I mentioned, like UCF is a repository for authority documents and citations. So what you see here is like the record. We don't need to worry about it. We'll go into detail in the future classes. So what it does is it gives you a description. Top management shall establish an information security policy that includes a commitment to provide the information security management system on a continuous basis. So basically what we have done is we have the authority document, and now what we've done is we have reduced it to a more granular level. So we have created a relationship between the authority document and citation. So what it does is it does have control objectives. We'll look into control objectives as well when we tackle the policy and compliance management of ServiceNow. So like basically this is what a basic overview of what GRC is, how it is governed, what are the different modules, how ServiceNow defines the GRC solution. So this is a very basic overview of what GRC and IRM is within ServiceNow. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead. Like I'm done with the presentation since it was the first class, so I didn't want to keep it very heavy. This is a very lighter version of what you'll expect in GRC. And then from tomorrow onwards, we'll go into like in depth of all these forms, records, whatever you're saying. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I have one doubt that citations means it's an updation to the authentication that authorized document.
Authority document. Yes. So let's suppose I have created, look it from the terms of like an authority document is something which is a broader term. Let's suppose there is AI, right? AI is a umbrella term, and under that there are many different aspects to it. ML, predictive intelligence, right? So similarly, what we have with authority document is that it is an umbrella term. Like I can define authority document and be it, let's say, I want to define the security measures, right? I just say I want the organization to inherit some security policies, right? It is a very broader term. Like you can't make much sense out of it, right? But now what I'm doing is to make it more sensible. So what I'll do is I'll create a citation stating that, okay, now the organization must implement a two-step verification, wherein first the user needs to log in through the password, and then they should need to have a authenticator as well. So that becomes my citation. So similar, like I hope you're getting the terminologies in here, right? So like this is what authority document and citation is. Yeah, I hope I've cleared your doubt.
Yeah, I understood.
Yeah. Any more questions? Like we can also look at. Give me a minute. Actually, it skipped my mind, but yeah, there is something called as role required. Yeah. So when you look at these roles, so these are like in ServiceNow, roles are also based on hierarchy. So the admin has the highest role, then comes the manager, then comes the user, then comes the reader. So like I'll go into more granular details of this. But right now, to understand this authority documents and citation, what you need to do is as soon as you install these plugins, this policy and compliance management plugin and these two plugins, I'll highlight it for you. Yeah. Yeah. As soon as you install this plugin in your ServiceNow instance, you'll get the following roles, these roles. So you can see here, reader, which means the minimum role required. Now, when we say reader and the minimum role required for it, basically it allows you to see some of the modules in the instances. Yeah. So if you have the reader role, right, you will be able to see this policy and compliance module in here. And yeah, if you have this manager role, so basically what you do is you can create your citations and more authority documents. Like it is completely up to you whether you want to take your authority documents and citation from the UCF repository, or you can create those manually as well based upon it. So for that, what you need to have this compliance manager role. Then comes your admin role. So admin roles is basically wherein you have created your authority document now, but you want to delete it as well. So only the admin role allows that capability wherein you can delete those citations and authority document. And there is something called as compliance developer role, which is basically used to create an article, which we'll see further, like how we can create an article through a policy. So in ServiceNow, the roles are based on hierarchy. So the highest role that you're looking at here is the admin role. So basically, admin has the capability to do all these other three things. Like they can create and edit policy, they can create an article. So admin is the highest role for compliance management. Then the second role which comes in is the manager, then the user and reader. So admin will have the roles of the manager, user, and reader, whereas the manager will not have the role of admin, but it will directly inherit the user and the reader role. And the user will only inherit the reader role, and the reader role will not inherit anything, but it will be the minimum requirement to read a policy. And this developer role, it is kind of independent, but the admin has the developer role as well with him. So yeah, this is what like the rules are in ServiceNow. Yeah, please go ahead.
Right. Yeah, just a little bit more further clarification. So, the user and the reader, they both have just only read access, no write access,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Along with like user has some more accessibility to like to different modules, but we'll touch base on that later. Yeah,
The other three has a read and write both. So, as
yeah,
just in a general term, let's say I'm in a GRC analyst, which role that it fits into? Majority of the GRC analyst companies hiring a GRC analyst,
yeah.
are they fall into the admin category?
No. So basically, admin, let's suppose like if you're hired as an analyst, so you won't get the admin role. Basically, your manager will have the admin role who is managing all those policies because he has the authority to delete those policies. But you as an analyst, you are you are more focused on like whatever policies that you have, right? You can create or edit those policies. But the policy deletion in itself is a quite a big deal. So it requires higher level of thinking, right? So in that case, the analyst will only require the user, the manager, user, and reader role, but they won't require the admin role. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Any more questions, guys?
This is very, very nice. I have never seen anything like this so integrated in one dashboard. A
Yeah,
lot of companies still maintain their GRC on Excel sheet.
yes,
Like, on their just regular log, okay, this is the new policy, this is the new compliance, add them up together. But this
yeah,
is very nice that in one shop you have all integrated information, including your SOC operations
yeah,
update.
yeah. So continuing to your discussion only, we have something like I don't have right now present with me, but then there is something called as a workspaces. So in here, this is not related to GRC, by the way, guys. This is more of like how you can see all the things present at one place. So like we have different workspaces. You see your overview. So similarly, like this is for ITSM, but right now I've not installed those plugins. I'll install those plugins, so you'll also able to see the GRC workbench as well, wherein you will see your policy compliance, your risk statements. Everything comes under one picture. So yeah, we do have workspaces and risk management as well.
Impressive.
Yeah, and
So
yeah. Sorry, please go on.
another quick question. I'm sorry I'm asking too many questions. I've been waiting for quite some time to connect with you as a demo class. Out of those GRC tools, whatever available tools they have, as you mentioned earlier, Archer, Metric Stream, or ServiceNow by GRC, with ServiceNow GRC, which one is the mostly or heavily used in the market by the enterprise level?
This is the most heavily used one, the ServiceNow
Yeah, it
solution.
sounds like it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So this is like the tool to go. Yeah. Any other question, guys? be it anything, like it can be as silly as like how we can install a plugin as well. Like I'm very okay to show you that as well, like how an application manager looks like if you have not seen it. So basically, whenever we want to install an application, because ServiceNow comes with some out of the box like applications which are already available, but with respect to GRC, what we need to do is we need to install the plugins. So you just have to go into this filter navigator, click on this plugins. It will redirect you to the application management screen. So now let's suppose I want to install the GRC policy and compliance plugin. So what I'll do is I'll just type in policy and compliance and see what result comes. You see, so these are the results which popped up. You see this, these are product solutions. So I've already installed the policy and compliance management in my instance and its dependency as well. So like this is how you can install, simply like install, or if you want to uninstall, you can go ahead and install as well, but don't do that. Yeah.
So I have a quick question, Rohan.
Yeah.
So well, I know, like, for pertaining to HRSD or ITSM, we do have a certain level of certifications like administrator,
Yeah.
implementer, and developer, and then
Yeah.
you can
Yes.
go for a technical architect. So, can you also tell us what certifications that are available with ServiceNow
Yeah.
pertaining to GRC, and then will this course align in case if I wanted to achieve certain certifications pertaining
Yeah.
to those? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sure. So basically, the one certification that that is that of utmost importance with respect to ServiceNow is the CIS, which is Certified Implementation Specialist, Risk and Compliance. But the limitation of that certification is that you only get exposure to policy and compliance and advanced risk management. So the class that we are trying to focus on here is the entire IRM process, which will also include your vendor risk management as well as your audit management. So with the ServiceNow certification, you get exposure to only these two modules, which is policy and compliance and risk implementation approach. These are the two modules that are extensively talked in that certification. But what we are looking at is the entire IRM solution. Then they also offer individual certification as well, which is your certified implement specialist TPRM, which is the your third party risk management. So these are the two certifications which, as of right now, ServiceNow provides with GRC.
A follow-up question on it is like,
Yeah.
what are the roles that are there? Like, okay, it's an admin, are we admin, and then developer, then solution architect. What are different roles, and that what is the difference between these roles of learning? So if you are starting, like, okay, I'm just making this
Mm-hmm.
up because like AWS has like first is like the CCP certification, just a
Yeah.
practitioner, and then we go for a
Mm-hmm.
developer, then we go for a
Yeah.
solutions architect. So what is that we have in ServiceNow?
Yeah. So with ServiceNow, the certification that I have talked with, right, it is more from a uh, developer and administrator role. It is more for that role rather than being a business analyst or uh, a project manager. Because what we are trying to achieve with this is that along with the process, you also get to know about the implementation practices so that you are more clear like what the tool is capable of and what the tool is not, like what are the uh, products that are available within the tool and how we can use those solutions within the tool.
Okay, so admin will be
Mhm.
able to, what is that admin has, then what is that developer has? So
Yeah,
developer will have the separate language,
yeah,
because I'm just trying to understand
yeah,
what is the
yes.
difference between an admin and a developer like
So
can
basic,
do.
mhm. Yeah. So basically, like if I tell you the basic difference, so there is no difference actually. So what we do is like when I talk about admin, so what I'm talking about is more from the process owner point of view. So who will manage like the policy deletion, who will manage the creation of controls, who will look into the control objectives. So this all comes under admin part. And when I talk about developer, developer is something, let's suppose if I want to develop a relationship between the authority and citation, I want to, let's say I want to create a field in here, right? and I want to have certain logic to it. Let's suppose if I want to create an approver field here, and as soon as I select that approver, then the approval should be triggered to that specific person. So that all thing comes under a developer, basically like who manages all the backend. So backend is generally managed by the developer, but then admin activities such as how can I create a new authority document, or if I want to attach a new citation to this authority document. So what I'll do is I'll just click on new and I'll just name this. And so this all comes under the admin part of GRC.
Okay, so in this sessions, are we learning to include those controls like a developer? Okay, I want to add
Yeah.
a.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So basically the idea here is that you will learn the process as well as the implementation practices as well, so that you combine those things and you land up at ServiceNow IRM as a whole, rather than like being only learning about the process but then not knowing about the ServiceNow. Because I believe like we are trying to understand what ServiceNow has done with IRM, right?
Correct. So
Yeah.
is there a language that is there, or like it is just a
No. So basically, yeah, I'll tell you. So we won't focus on the coding part here. What we'll do is we'll only focus on the ServiceNow IRM solution and what processes it does follows. What is the life cycle that it follows? Because the coding part is common across all the modules of ServiceNow, be it ITSM, be it GRC, be it HRSD, be it any other module which ServiceNow has. So that all practice which comes under like the ServiceNow developer course, right?
yeah.
So that is
Yeah.
a different course. This is a very good question he's asking about the developer.
Yeah.
So like you definitely need to have a scripting knowledge to
No.
be a developer, right?
Yeah, that is correct. But there are business analysts as well. Like they just need to understand what process ServiceNow is following with respect to IRM, right? So
Yeah,
you may
okay.
focus, you may focus on your process overview, or you may also focus on your like development part as well. But then for development, you must be aware about the ServiceNow administration tools and like ServiceNow developer course. That is for sure. Yes.
You know, for is there a coding involved in this, and what kind of
No. So
language is there?
yeah. So look, the basic framework of ServiceNow, like the coding that we use is JavaScript. Okay, but the course that we are looking at will not involve coding. What will involve is the process and how that process is implemented. So yeah, there may be some parts of development, but then that will not be related to coding because ServiceNow in itself is a very low code solution.
Okay, that's what I wanted to
Yeah,
understand. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
There
So
won't be
maybe
much
that
coding like. Mhm.
Yeah. So maybe that like a ServiceNow developer, that terminology is a little bit misleading because
Yeah,
like the
yes,
gentleman
yeah,
was saying, when he says developer, like a SQL Server developer, you're highly
yeah,
coder, right? You're a
yes,
programmer. So I was thinking the back end, when you're using the word back end, they're putting all this logic. Okay, this control should trigger this, that
yeah,
policy should trigger this. But in this general sense, as a ServiceNow developer, it does not involve that much of
yeah,
coding, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
like
after
inter
completing this course, we should be able to apply for some of those developer role as well.
no.
No?
For developer, you require like coding knowledge. What you can apply for is like, let's suppose you want to be a policy manager or a policy administration, right? Or you want to
Okay.
go into the functional role wherein you take requirements from a client or you give requirements, you become a process owner. So this course mainly focuses on that.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, yeah. Because the coding part, it comes under like a different course. Yeah, any more questions, guys? Because like we are already 6 minutes above. So if not, we can close the session as well.
Thanks, Rohan.
When does
Thanks,
your
Kishore.
when does your training start? The weekdays training?
That Musin will convey to you like how the process will go on. Right now, this is just a demo lecture. So Musin will convey it to you.
So Max, we can start it from tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine,
Yeah.
right,
Oh.
Rohan?
Yeah, that is fine. Yes.
Yeah. So Max, we are going to start from tomorrow, and that is daily like 2 hours of session.
And how long?
Max, it's going to take 18 to 20 days.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And
the
it's
total
a
duration of the training is around 30 hours.
Yeah.
Also,
so
just a quick question. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting somebody.
Mm.
So daily it's gonna be 2 days of class, even weekends, right? Or excluding
Yes.
weekend?
Yeah, including the weekends.
That's
We
great.
are going to have it on the weekends as well.
Great, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
What will be the timings actually?
Timings Rohan, like 7:30 a.m. or 7 a.m.
7:30 a.m. is fine.
Yeah,
IST.
7:30. Yeah, IST. 7:30 a.m. IST.
Yeah.
Yeah, one final question. I'm sorry.
No worries. Yeah. Go on, please.
So once let's assume that a person who doesn't have any background with respect to service now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about one of my friend who doesn't have any experience or any knowledge in service now. He
Yeah.
directly joins this class. He understands the functional part, as you said. He
Yeah.
understands the functional part of everything in another 20 days. And then probably he'll be able to apply for the jobs with respect to IRM and GRC. Only the functional part, not into the
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
development.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That sounds great. Thank
Yeah.
you. Probably you have one more with you. Okay,
Yeah. Yes.
thank you.
throughout
Yeah.
the
Thanks, Ravi.
process, like every module, I like the course curriculum, the way you set up, and we are going to focus on Rohan heavily on the lab because that's what more important thing is to
Yeah.
learning real scenario,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, coming to that only, for today's lab, what you can do is you can just log into the ServiceNowDeveloper.com website and try to install these plugins which I've mentioned in here. Mm, there it is. Give me a minute. I'll share my screen and let you know which plugins I'm talking about.
Maybe a question to Mohsen. We do we have any privilege in case maybe if we miss half an hour or so due to some other
Yes. The
responsibility?
recordings
Maybe
are going to be shared on the daily basis.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see here, basically in the presentation, I've mentioned some plugins as well. So just try to install these plugins and have a play around with these two only, like policy and compliance management and compliance UCF. This compliance UCF will give you the ability to access your authority documents and citations, and this policy and compliance management will give you a like ability to see policies, how policies are managed in ServiceNow. So just try to install these two plugins in your instance for now, and then
Okay.
as soon as you install these plugins, these roles will be available to you, and then you will able to access like the authority documents and citations as well.
So
These
Harsh,
plugins will be like so in the regular instance, right? Like so we need to go to the plugins and we need to install because like I was very new to service now. This is
Yeah,
my
yeah,
first time.
I'll show you how it is done. So
Uh,
once you have your account created in this website, like the developer.servicenow.com website, and your instance is active, what you do is you just click here. It will land up you to a landing page. What you have to do is just type in plugin in this filter navigator, in this all.
okay.
Yeah. As soon as you click on this, it redirects you to this application manager. Basically, like whatever plugins or whatever module that you need to install into your ServiceNow instance, you just do that. And in here, you can just type in policy and compliance, even if you don't know the exact name of the plugin. You just type in, and it gives you like these many modules. So right now, it shows for available for you 19 and installed 2. Basically, what I've done is I've installed these two plugins. That's why it is coming up here. But for you, it will come in here. Okay,
Okay.
in the available for you. So you just need to install this plugin, which is GRC and compliance management, this dependent plugin will get automatically installed when you install this. And then the second plugin that you need to install is this UCF1. You see, store application in this install. So as soon as you install this, you will get the authority document citation, and make sure there is something. Give me a minute. Yeah. So I'm just
This is
showcasing.
version, right?
Sorry.
This is a free version, right, of ServiceNow
Yeah, this
developer
is
version.
this is free of cost. No one will charge you anything. Any plugins, it doesn't matter. These are all free of cost. So let's suppose if I go here, like this is just an example, like how to install it. So once you click on this plugin and if you click on this install, so you have this option called as load demo data. So make sure you click on this. So you'll have demo data to play around with. Otherwise, it will be completely empty. Okay. So just make sure
Okay.
you do this, and this only comes once, like when you're trying to install. If you don't click this and install, then you won't have the option to revert back. So make sure that you install this option. You check this option. Yeah, and then if you click on install, it will install the related plugins for you.
So in a real scenario on an enterprise, whatever paid version
Yeah.
they're using, are they look familiar? The graphical user
Yeah.
interface pretty much the same?
This is the same. Like you look
Okay.
at only the branding will change, like the colors and the themes, but this is what you'll see 100%. Like this is the only thing that you'll see. There won't be any difference except for this branding. Like there will be a enterprise logo. The color scheme may be different, but then the overall UI will be same. Yeah, I hope I've made myself clear. And any more doubts, team?
One final question. In fact, two
Yeah,
questions.
yeah,
Okay.
sure. Please.
Generally, people, once you're done with the course, people help us with the resume preparation along with the the FAQs, the frequently asked questions and interviews and all those things.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
is it available over here, or how is it?
So I'll tell you, like as I've mentioned, during this course itself, you'll get a lot of interview questions. One question I'll just show you right now. Like I've explained to you as well, but this is
The
generally asked.
plugins.
No. Plugins, don't need to worry about plugins. But what will be asked to you? This thing, policy statement. So they will ask, what is the difference between control objective and policy statement? Because some may be using older terminologies and some may be using newer terminologies. So you must be aware that no, these two are the same things. The only thing is that it has been renamed to control objectives now. Getting? And then there is a question related. Yeah. Like with roles
How
and
about
plugins, you
the?
don't have to.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So people generally don't ask question regarding this plugins and roles. Okay. This is not something you should worry about. This is just something that you should be aware of. Okay. Generally, interviewers don't ask questions like these are very specific questions. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Got it.
yeah. What interviewer
How about
looks
the
into
resume
is, yeah, we can have a session for that as well. No problem in that. Resume preparation as well. Like I can guide you what things to include in a policy and compliance, like a GRC resume. I can help you with that as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all.
Yeah.
So if you sign up, you can commit to us like 5 days, 5 weekdays in the morning time, right? As you say, 7:30 IST, which come out to be what? Almost like 9 EST, something like that.
So basically, like Mohsin has mentioned, that the classes will also take place in weekends as well.
Oh, okay. So 7 days.
Yeah, 7 days. So yeah, team, like any more questions?
This is very helpful. I mean, like this is very unique. I see that I've been doing a little bit search, a lot of GRC. It's just general, just read, they read from the script, right? But the service now is a good approach. At least you are getting hands-on training
Yeah.
on a tool. So regardless of when you're facing an interview, hey, I have worked on ServiceNow, and this is what I have done with the control. This is what I have done with the risk management. I have worked on the
Yeah.
integrated risk management. So it gives you more clear path to achieve your goal,
Yeah.
rather than 90% people who are approaching like a regular GRC concept training, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
So,
really like that.
yeah. So for now, what you guys can do is just go through this recording once again and try to understand like what authority document is, what citation is, play around in your ServiceNow instance as well, so that tomorrow you're more confident about how to look into things. Yeah.
Who's going to send us the recording?
Mohsin is going to send you the recording. There is an administrator with us. He'll be managing all your questions regarding to trainings and classes. So yeah, you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, we will be sharing it on your email, like Gmail. You will get the access on the daily basis. Materials and everything you will be receiving.
And Mohsin, you're not certain that when, this is not a fixed date. If needed, you can start tomorrow. Otherwise, when exactly you're planning to start the class?
Tomorrow, for sure, we are going to start it like as discussed, 7:30 a.m. Tomorrow is going to be the first session.
Okay.
Yeah.
So scheduled already.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But in your website, and do you have do you have several weekdays and weekends also? Do you offer anything on the weekends? That's
So
probably in a later dates, right?
you are specifically looking for the weekends?
No. I'm flexible for both, but I have another friend who would like to join, but his flexibility on the weekends. So I wanted to see if you guys offer anything on the weekends, maybe next month or anything like that. Because on your website, right, Mohsin, because you have weekends.
Yes. We do have
Yeah.
weekends as well.
Yeah.
So
But
I need to update the schedule, like when it's going to start and all.
okay. But this one with Rohan, the Rohan definitely will start with tomorrow, but you might have
100%.
you might have something in the weekend later, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, guys. I think we are good to go, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Rohan.
Yes,
Appreciate your knowledge and giving us this update here.
Yeah. Thanks, Sam. Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you.
everyone. Bye.
Let's meet tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you, team. Bye bye.